سيد الأنبياء والمرسلين وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وأصحاب سيدنا محمد وبارك وسلم وصل عليه الصلاة والسلام عليك يا سيدي يا رسول الله وعلى آلك وأصحابك يا سيدي يا حبيب الله الصلاة والسلام عليك يا سيدي يا رحمة للعالمين وعلى آلك وأصحابك يا سيدي يا خاتم النبيين. Alhamdulillah, we are witnessing the blessed month of Rabiul Awwal passes by, and we are taking opportunities to gather in the houses of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, gather in our homes, and we are holding majalis and mahafil where we are discussing the life of the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam, discussing his blessed ahadith, discussing his awsaf, attributes, reciting his naat, his poetry. And what is the purpose? What is our aim? The aim is only to rekindle the love in our hearts for Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Because the love of the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam is the most important thing. Living in this society, to today's day and age, what will protect us? What will protect us from the fitna of this society? What will protect us and allow us to safeguard our iman in the current society we live in? It's the love of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And for over 1400 years ago, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam mentions his love. He mentions his love alongside iman, our faith. He says, لا يؤمن أحدكم حتى أكون أحب إليه من والده وولده والناس أجمعين. That none of you truly believe until I'm more beloved to him than his parents, his children, and the whole of mankind. And then elsewhere he says, in another variant of this narration, he says, لِمَالِهِ as well. That he loves me more than his parents, his children, and his wealth as well. More than everything, he loves me. Yeah? And this is a condition. This is a shart that we have to fulfill, that we love Rasulullah alayhi salatu wasalam more than everything else in this world. And then we can say that we are complete mu'mineen. We are complete believers in the true meaning. Okay? So this is our aim for sitting in our majalis in this blessed month. And I hope that we are all taking opportunities to do this. Whether it's in the masajid, whether it's in our homes, our home, or the houses and homes of our friends. When they are holding such gatherings and they invite us, we should accept their invites. Not, oh, I'm busy, or I had something else to do, or making excuses. But no, we should accept their invite. We should go to their house and we should take part in such a beautiful gathering. Because those moments where we are doing dhikr Habib sallallahu alayhi wasallam are the moments that are going to be valuable when we stand before the scale on the Day of Judgment. So inshallah, we also have the Ilanat will be done inshallah later on anyway, but because I'm talking about it, inshallah on the 23rd of this month, which is not this Sunday but the Sunday after Zuhr Namaz 1:45, it is going to be the annual Milad al-Nabi Sharif Mahfil in Jummah Sayyidah Fatima al-Zahra. We have great scholars, bil khusus Dr. Suleiman Misbahi Sahib, Hafidahullah, was come from Pakistan this year. And you will have seen him on social media. He delivers a beautiful bayan. As though when he delivers bayan, his style is as though he's talking one-to-one to you. Yeah, so inshallah he will be giving us time from his busy schedule. And alongside that we have Digar ulama here. We've got Sajid Qadri, inshallah, Al-Hajj Sajid Qadri coming to present the poetry of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam as well. So inshallah do remember that, inshallah, do take time out to present yourself in that gathering of the dhikr Habib sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Last week, for our current topic, we were talking about death and afterlife. And death is a mushkil subject to talk about. It's not the happiest of subjects to speak upon, and we are going through Rabiul Awwal Sharif, which is a very happy time, where we express our happiness at the arrival of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But the truth of the matter is, death is only a checkpoint. Death is only a break at a service station for the muhib when he does the ziyarat of his mahbub sallallahu alaihi wasallam in his grave. So that's what the muhib is waiting for, the ziyarat of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam in the grave. And we spoke upon having lengthy hopes last week. Having lengthy hopes. So the deen, the religion, the guidance of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, it teaches us not to have lengthy hopes, not to extend your hopes for too long. Having lengthy hopes is it's a sign of the love of the dunya. It's a sign of the love of the dunya and a sign to put off death. Move, death away from me. Keep death away from me. Yeah. So having lengthy hopes is what we're going to continue with. And I mentioned the riwayah of Hazrat Usama bin Zayd, and this is relevant to today's time, where Hazrat Usama bin Zayd radiallahu ta'ala, and he's a Jaleel al-Qadr Sahabi. He is one of the special individuals who the Prophet ﷺ makes the leader and commander of the Muslim army. And you know how old he was when he was made the commander of the Muslim army? He was 19 years of age. He was 19 years of age, and the Prophet ﷺ gave him the flag of Islam. You will lead the Muslim army. And the Prophet ﷺ blessed him with the leadership, and the Prophet ﷺ saw him off as he left Al-Madinatul Munawwara with the Muslim army. 19 years of age, and Hazrat Usama bin Zayd is leading the Muslim army. What is the 19-year-old of today doing? What is the 19-year-old of today conquering? We cannot even compare to the Jaleel al-Qadr Sahaba Kiram. We can't even compare ourselves to that class of the beloved companions of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The Prophet alayhi salatu wasallam said, "Ashabi kan nujum." My companions are like the stars. My companions are like the tariq. Yeah, whichever one of them you will follow, you shall attain guidance. Because the Sahaba, the companions, are the companions of none other than Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So when you follow the Sahaba, you are following the Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Okay, whichever one of them you shall follow, you shall find guidance. But Hazrat Usama bin Zayd, at one point, he buys something of another companion. And he says to him that I'll pay you in a month's time. So they agreed a transaction, and this transaction was based upon a deferred payment. And when Rasulullah ﷺ heard, he said, do you not find it amazing that Usama has bought something and he is saying that he's going to pay a month later? Yani, the point of the statement of Rasulullah ﷺ here was, what makes him think that he's going to be alive in a month's time? Never mind a month is far away. What makes him think that he's going to be alive tomorrow to fulfill whatever transaction he makes? Now if we look at ourselves living in today's day and age, everything we buy on deferred payments. Whether it's a car on finance, whether it's a house on finance, whether it's nowadays even clothing, Klarna or something, this company, even when you buy clothing, you buy on deferred payments. Yeah, look at how the society has made us think that we are going to be here for such a long time, we are going to be here for forever. The dunya has sucked us in. And this is why the guidance of the Prophet ﷺ teaches, don't have lengthy hopes. Don't think that you are going to be here forever. And then we find there are two causes that Imam Ghazali mentions. Lengthy hopes, having dur umeed. Yeah? He says there are two causes for this. He says the first is jahalat. The first is ignorance. Ignorance of death. Ignorance of the akhirah. Ignorance of the questions in the grave. Ignorance of the ahwal of the akhirah. Ignorance, jahala, not knowing what is to come, not knowing what is going to happen, not having knowledge about the terrors that faces in the future. What our life is leading us down to. First, Imam Ghazali says, jahalat. Second thing he says, hubb dunya. The second reason is the person is so lost and his love is so deep in the dunya that he thinks and he wishes that I wish to be here forever. I wish to be walking on the face of this earth forever. two causes, he says. And then Imam Ghazali beautifully writes, and you know the words he chooses, and when you look at the wording he uses, it makes your hair stand on end. That how, subhanAllah, you know, beautifully he writes, and it's so deep in his wording. He says, as for jahalat, he says, man puts confidence in his youth. Yeah, naturally, when we are born young. We are babies, and then from babies we grow and grow, and everybody, you know, you are called a bacha, yeah, you are called a jawan, yeah. So naturally these things set in, you know, they almost concrete into your brain, into your awareness of the world, yeah, bacha, youth, jawani, yeah. Imam Ghazali says man puts confidence in his youth. And this confidence, it only gets stronger and stronger no matter how many white hairs begin to form. Yeah, he says that confidence is set in his youth. And this individual, man, he unfortunately fails to consider that if you were to survey the land, if you were to look around, you would find that there are very few old people. If you were to survey the land right now, you would find maybe 10%, maybe even less, or in that higher category. Majority of people are younger. Yeah, the population is majority in the younger section. Yeah, the few people that reach old age, what is the reason for this? Imam Ghazali says that death is more common in youth. Yeah, he says death is more common in youth. This is why if you look around in the population, there's only a few of the category of the elderly. Yeah, and then he says, for every one old man you see, 1,000 children and youth die. He says, for every one elderly man you see, there are 1,000 children and youth in the grave right now. Okay? Meaning that death, it doesn't wait for your hairs to become white. It doesn't wait for your bones to start bending. Death does not wait for your bones to start cracking. Death doesn't wait for the summer, nor does it wait for the winter. It doesn't wait for your health to start deteriorating. Death doesn't wait for your doctor appointments to start building. Imam Ghazali says, death attacks randomly, and death attacks most commonly when you are jawan, when you are a bacha, when you are in your prime. And what do? We have confidence in our health. We go to the gym, we pick up heavy weight, we get on that treadmill, we put it on incline, and we think, I am smashing it here. I am breaking records here. Yeah, I'm doing my personal bests here. And we have confidence. Our nafs, our ego puts confidence in our youth. When was the last time, if I ask some of the youth here, when was the last time you went to the doctor? Alhamdulillah, thumma alhamdulillah, Allah Ta'ala grant us all health. I am registered with Dr. Naqbal, right? And I think it's been 6-7 years, maybe more than that, I've not had a doctor's appointment. Alhamdulillah. Allah keep us all healthy. But see how when we are young, we are healthy. Automatically this confidence builds and builds. Death is very far away. I've got time to sort myself out. I've got time to do tawbah. I've got time to do all my fara'id, to fulfill all my fara'id. You know, for example, with the Hajj groups, alhamdulillah, I went in 2019, my first Hajj, okay, and we realized majority of the group was elderly. Majority of the group were elderly and they were struggling. Okay, and the few young couples that were there, few youth that were there, they, subhanallah, you know, the elderly, they would see them and they would say, if only we were young and we had the thought to go and do Hajj. When we were young, we put it off. Both time, you know, let me sort out my ahwal and halat first. Both time, and now we are so old, we are so weak that we are struggling to fulfill the rukn of Hajj. We are struggling to fulfill the pillars of Hajj. We are finding it difficult when we are walking between Safa and Marwa, when we are walking around the Kaaba Sharif, when we are walking in Mina, when we are throwing our country at the shaitan. We are doing it in difficulty, in mushkil. If only we were young, if only we were youthful, and then we did our Hajj so that we could fulfill it properly in maza, in enjoyment as we fulfilled the arkan of Hajj. Okay, so what is the reason? Because Imam Ghazali is right. He says that when we are young, we begin to have confidence in our youth, in our health, yeah, in our wealth. We have confidence, and we start to naturally, our nafs, our ego, it puts death to one side. It pushes death to one side, and then suddenly when it comes, yeah, death doesn't look at your NHS card. Death doesn't look at your NHS app or your record, like this individual's pretty ill, let me take his soul. No. Death looks at the hukm from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and that very last second that you are due to live, that last breath that you are to take, Malakul Maut is there to take your soul. And that's what is going to happen. And that's the reality. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allows us to do tayyari for maut. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allows us to do all the preparation for the akhirah. Ameen. Inshallah, next week we'll continue with the categories of Imam Ghazali, of those people who have lengthy hopes. Akhiru da'waya, alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen.